The Chicago Bears have just been connected to a rare athlete, and it sounds like the Chicago Bears are in the running for specifically a top offensive line player. And we'll go through that, but the real question is, should they be? Or better yet, is it even feasible? This isn't fantasy football, right? We have some considerations here. I'm going to go to this story on sportsillustrated.com on the Miami page. You guys check it out. And in this story, super agent Drew Rosenhaus, he just confirmed that free agent center Connor Williams, he's made a remarkable recovery from knee surgery in December, and that they were in talks with multiple teams for his services. And this is to hear it straight from Rosenhaus. Let me go on the record here to say that Connor has made a remarkable recovery, nothing short of miraculous, really looking good for the start of the season. There's a lot of teams interested in him, but I'm just delighted for Connor. Didn't anticipate him going to training camp with a team. I felt like it might be something during the season before he actually played, but now he's done an awesome job, and we're going to see Connor Williams in someone's training camp. He also downplayed the possibility of returning in Miami in order to test the market, as any good agent should do for his client. And this isn't the only Drew Rosenhaus client that's available on the market. Emmanuel Ogbah, another Dolphins castoff. I'm going to talk about him tomorrow. He's also looking for a new team. He could also be a pivot if the Bears are prioritizing the defensive line at the edge spot. Now, I'm still going to go through how good Connor Williams is. He's been the NFL's number 2 ranked center on PFF's grading system. The prospect of adding him, it's super exciting, right? It's great for views for me. I love the thought of getting a player like him for a possible injury discount. This could be a great opportunity. And the Bears have competition at center presently between Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates. Shelton was solid with the Rams, grading out as the number 17 center. Solid, but not exactly spectacular. The Bears aren't heavily invested in their O-line either, with only 8 teams spending less than them on their line. Only a $38.58 million cap hit per spot track. Why is that bad? Well, let's check that out. Look at some top teams, or at least some playoff teams. The Chiefs are number 2 in O-line compensation. The Rams are number 2. I believe the Rams are number 3, excuse me. The Niners, they're 7th most. I mean, you get the idea. Teams that are traditionally good spend up on their offensive line. He's traditionally played guard, and I'm going back to Connor Williams, which we need help in. But he's improved every year since being moved to center in 2022. No matter where he's played, whether it's guard or center, he's been a top 15 blocker for the last 4 years. I mean, the guy is just a great player. His agent's also saying something. He's saying that he's only signing with a team that projects him as their starting center. So the versatility might not matter in this case, but I'm kind of going to beg to differ. If he was paid well, if he was moved to guard once he came into town, I don't think he'd refuse it, but let's move on. So outside of defensive help, this is likely the only player the Bears should even consider making a splash with. And there's a few more reasons why this might be a good fit, but most importantly, let's do the part of this that isn't fun at all. I mean, do you love going over your own personal budget if the money's tight? I don't love it, but this is what we've got to do. Let's be realistic and look at the cap. The Bears still have $22.7 million. Now, when looking at that number, most will say, hey, let's take one more big swing to get ready for the season. We have plenty of money, but there's some things to consider here. Caleb Williams. He's going to sign a four-year deal. Man, I can't say that. A 4-year deal worth about $39 million, a yearly value of about 9.8 with a $25.5 million signing bonus. That's just sick. Odunze's 4-year. He'll be at about $22.7 million with a signing bonus of about 13.3. I mean, base salaries, they're figured differently, but for the reason of figuring out the cap, the likely 2024 cap hits for the Bears rookies are as follows. Caleb at about 9, Odunze at 4.8, Amagaji, our 3rd round pick, at $689,000, Torrey Taylor in the 4th round at $397,000, and then we had Austin Booker at $297,000. I can throw a bunch of numbers out, but this all comes in at about 15.3. We can project those numbers even before the contracts are signed because the CBA, it leaves very little room for negotiation. These pay grades are slotted. So all said and done, this leaves the Bears not with over 20. It leaves the Bears with roughly $7.4 million in salary cap space following rookie compensation. The market value of Connor Williams, it's been viewed at about 5 years, $67.7 million, roughly 13.5 a season. And he's going to be paid as the second highest paid center in the league because that's how he's performed. The Dolphins, instead, they made a different choice. They chose to sign Aaron Brewer, an up-and-coming center from Vegas. They signed him to a 3-year with 2 voidable years to spread out the cap hit. It's worth $21 million with a 2024 cap hit of 2.53, and then 8.12 in 2025 and 2.24 in 2027. They got creative, but Williams will be much more than that. But I wanted to kind of go through Aaron Brewer's contract just a little bit to show that these numbers can be brought down a bit for if you're creative with the cap, if you're creative in spreading out the costs. But still, Connor Williams is going to be about 3 times that. And this is more on Drew Rosenhaus. On behalf of Connor, I'm sure he'd be open to it, but I wouldn't say that's likely he would return here with the Dolphins. That's Rosenhaus talking. Certainly, we wouldn't rule anything out, but the Dolphins did sign a fine center in Aaron Brewer from the Tennessee Titans and made a big investment. So I think Connor, wherever he signs, it will be as a center. Of course, this is where we find out that Brewer started at guard for the Tennessee Titans before he moved to center last season, just like Williams was a guard with the Cowboys before the Dolphins switched his position when he joined the team in 2022. So Miami obviously doesn't want to pay 13 point whatever million a year. They have cap issues themselves. The Bears, they could try to wait it out, see if he goes unsigned, try to snap him up on a cheap injury discounted deal for like 1 or 2 years. But at market value, the Bears simply can't pay it. But right now, it sounds like an attempt by his agent to play up not only his availability right, but also his recovery. That would be an absolutely remarkable recovery from December. Proof and like something here. It feels like a big announcement to his value without a ton of science behind it. He's still under contract with the Dolphins as well. They'd have to release him. And there's also the need to save some cap for a possible midseason move. A lot can happen over a season. Injuries, they've been a huge issue for our Chicago Bears. Perhaps a better use of resources might be to get really creative with the defensive end signing. A guy like Ogba, loved that signing. Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, trading for Jonathan Allen. That's a really interesting prospect, but something that's a little more far-fetched. Another issue would be the fact that the Bears have a 39.5 cap hit at receiver already with just Allen and Moore. I mean, we do have money invested in our offense. It's just not in our line. Now, add Odunze to that figure of 39.5. It's not a full guarantee that Keenan, he's going to be signed to an extension. Poles is wise to do that. After a possible down statistical season, I'd say due to many mouths to feed in this offense, and we're also talking about Gerald Everett, we're talking about Cole Kmet, we're talking about DeAndre Swift. Keenan Allen's asking price is likely only going to go down from here. So I think that's very wise for Poles to be dragging his feet a bit here. And let's keep this in mind as well. Success in the NFL, it's not just from having great players. It's wise cap management. And GM Ryan Poles, he's done a masterful job. So keep a watch on Williams, but a move is not imminent right now if he's asking market value. Wait it out, guys. Do it cheaply. And ultimately, I think they'll probably settle in with current group because of the lack of cap space. Besides, Poles, he seems very happy with what the Bears have. I also don't think they're going to add another center because they have 2 who can play there. Shelton is familiar with the offense after playing in offensive coordinator Shane Waldron's attack with the Rams. That's a huge thing. Bates is a player Poles has tried to get for 2 years. He tried to sign Bates as a restricted free agent the year previous. He snuck away, and now Poles did the necessary move to get him from Buffalo. So he has plans for him. And if they wanted proven quality at center, though, adding Williams, it's a no-brainer. And to snap up Williams would be the best way they could go player-wise. I would still look for the Bears to sign a veteran, maybe even during camp, likely bolster the pass rush. I would absolutely love Ogba. Perhaps even Agent Drew Rosenhaus will do business with the Bears yet still before the season starts, but I just don't see at his current market value Connor Williams being feasible, us spending the cash for him, us reshuffling contracts, maybe dropping a veteran to make it possible. I mean, anything's possible, but I think our resources would be better served plugging someone into our defensive line to share snaps as our rookie Booker develops. As we have a couple other guys that maybe need to, DeMarcus Walker would be great if he fit more into this team as a player that he was in Tennessee before we signed him. Just a lot of moving parts, but I think a veteran signed during camp, like we did with Ngakoue last year, would probably be the wisest move. And it would also leave us with some money during the regular season to make a move if we need to. You guys, let me know what's up. Let me know what you think. If you think Connor Williams is a great signing, go ahead, tell me why and how we're going to afford it. And bear down, you guys. Really appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. See ya.